So what this new video series gonna be about? So I have my journey to publishing videos, kind of like documenting all the pivoting that I've been doing for my pen name Sally, which is my non-disclosed romance pen name. I also have the Right With Me kind of like palette cleanser. That's all my spooky paranormal romances, serialized stories that are under the pen name Mireya Navar. So what this new video series gonna be about? Well, I am going to bring you from the very beginning all the way until I get a literary agent and a publishing deal, and a lot of them. That's what we're aiming for. So these are gonna be my trap pub publishing chronicles. I'll come up with a better name eventually. Hopefully you'll see it in the title, hopefully. So yeah, let's chat a little bit, because while I will mainly focus on one project, I will be touching upon another one too. So let's chat. Okay, so first things first, I'm not sure. I didn't make a video. I did once, the first time that I submitted to that mentorship, and I will probably put it on the cards. Early this year, I submitted again to Las Hermanas mentorship, which is the mentorship program for Latinx unpublished writers, to get mentored by a published Latinx author. I submitted it with what I call the Kpop Book, Estefania's book. It has so many names. So you will ask, what the heck is this? So I didn't get into the mentorship, but I got a wonderful opportunity. Someone, a published author, I am not gonna mention them because I don't have like permission to mention it, and I'm not really, this is not a video about my experience of whatever. It's more like I got a wonderful offer by a published author to do a partial critique of my first 50 pages of this book. I think for the mentorship, they only ask you for the first 25, and she asked for the first 50, or at least up to the first 50 pages. So that's what I sent, and I have looked at this so many times. I even printed the email with the general critique and things that I should do to strengthen the story. So I decided to print it out with all the comments, like this space that you see here. That's where the comments and changes will show up. So I printed that. I printed the letter with her feedback, and I just made for fun a kind of like cover type, and I will be slowly going through the feedback and adding, because the things that this author pointed out, I agree with them. There is some beefing up that I need to do, not necessarily to my main character, but to some of the people around her. So it gives it's more grounding, and readers will have more to care about. But I've been on the contemporary genre for so long. So everything that I write for Pen Name Sally is contemporary romance. And because timelines for that pen name are a lot faster, and it takes a lot of my time to get like things ready because I'm going through books quicker with that pen name. So while I am writing paranormal with Mireya, I don't write it often. I usually just reserve Fridays and Saturdays, mostly just Fridays, to work on that. And I am someone who, as much as I love romance, my first love, reading wise and writing wise, is fantasy in all its glory. Epic, supernatural, paranormal, contemporary, urban, portal, everything that is within the umbrella of fantasy. So I've been wrangling with two ideas, which I think there is a video that I mention, like I give you a few options to kind of like help me pinpoint, and I think one or both of the ideas I've been wrangling I showcase on that video. If I can find a video, I'll put it on the cards, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, I've been thinking about those. So one is a full epic fantasy. This is a different world. It has elemental magic, but it is based on Taino diet, and it's what I call my godlike teenagers kind of situation. I'm being very vague with that specific one because I really want to work on it. But you know, epic fantasy is epic, so I've been slowly chipping away of creating the world and the magic and how everything works and the characters and things like that. And the other idea that I've been wrangling, which something I was looking into some things through a list that I have for agencies that I was kind of like updating it, and I was like, I have and that one I know was in that video that I asked you guys to help me choose, is the teenagers with too much powers and too much time in their hands in a boarding school. Is like a Dark Academia Hispanic YA contemporary fantasy kind of thing. So I've been also looking into that, and that one is a little bit more fleshed out than my epic fantasy, especially because the comes of that are like very specific, and the vibes and kind of like the storyline, it's pretty specific. So, so what I intend to do is I'm gonna bring you guys with me, developing the idea. I'm gonna go ahead and read again, but this version, the Save the Cat Rise, a YA novel, a young adult novel, and I will do the outline using the beat sheet, and we're gonna chronicle, the developing of the idea, the characters, developing the outline, writing the first draft. So, um, doing self edits, getting critique partners and beta readers, and writing a query letter, and starting to gathering informations for literally agents to submit and all that. So, join me on this journey of like from almost inception. And I say almost inception because the idea has already been incepted. You get what I mean. So, from the inception of the idea, developing all the way to the first draft and all the edits, and getting the query and setting up that package, sending the ups and downs and all that. So, for sure, we will be in the query trenches during 2025. So, if you wanted to watch my journey, join. If you want to like walk alongside with me, join too. um, they the title of the video and the aesthetic of the thumbnail will be very different from my other ones, so you can at a glance see, oh, that's from her pen name, that's for her paranormal, that's for trap bub. So you can pick and choose whatever fits your interest, because you know I I um project hub a lot. So it's just like all over. My brain is all over the place. I tend to be a little bit all over the place. So, yeah, this is the introduction. That's been very long of an introduction. How about we get into my notion and let me give you a tour of what I have at the moment for the Asaroya project. Yeah? Yeah. So I'm gonna be in this little corner while I show you part of my one of my Notion dashboard. So this is my. You're gonna get some like sneak peeks on things that I'm just like slowly, very slowly working on. But we're gonna go to the Asaroya project. So this is kind of like a mood board that I created yesterday, I think. I decided to upload that right in the center, and then we're get to the three columns that I have divided this. So, starting with the characters, we have six protagonists. I'm not 100% sure all of them will have um, um, like POVs. Not 100% sure yet, but we have three characters. These are just ideas, like how they look like. So we have Sienna Salazar, aka Cece, which is a very spoiled um, girl. She comes from a very wealthy family, um, but her dad is all business and, beautiful women coming in and out um, in his life. And her main want is his attention. He really doesn't pay much attention to her, and everything that she does is to garner his attention. Then we have Antonia Aldana, aka Nia. She is kind of like the rebel of these three ladies. She's the one who's gonna cause a lot of like a ruckus and disruption. She's definitely the one that's gonna shake up the status quo. She already is in the magic world. And she has this unique tarot card deck that this is something that I need to fix. Deck that she has infused with her magic. Um, that's kind of like an idea. Then we have Lorena Lastra, aka Lore. She's a very quiet, very calm, peaceful, selfless person. She all of her focus is on her younger sister that has some um, unique needs. Uh, and everything that she does is uh, be able to give her sister a better life or more comfortable life, to have more help, things like that. She also has a very strenuous relationship with her parents, because they are very religious, and she really doesn't care about their religion. She just sort of uh deals with it to avoid conflict, but she really doesn't believe in their fate. Um, she's also very, very smart, so she gets to the Asaroya, which is the name of the school, uh, thanks to a scholarship. Uh, then we have the boys. I don't have that much information yet about them. Still going through. Draco Davila is someone who used to be from a wealthy family. He is very loyal, very hard headed, strong, and he tends to protect the people and animals, the beings that he perceives them as weak. Because he may learn that he might think that person is weak, but they are not. But alas, um, he goes to the Asteroya school to find who is responsible for his mother's death. And he does all sorts of things to get to the bottom of that, because after her mom died, in a reunion of her class, because she was an Asaroya uh, alumni, their lives kind of like crumble. So that's what he's dealing. Then we have Hugo Hidalgo. He is the son of a very well known and very influential businessman. I'm still trying to think what is his problem, what are his issues. Out of the trio, he is the kind of like sort of the equivalent of Sienna, but they have very different family conflicts. Um, so I am trying to pinpoint on that. Mateo Monson is another quiet kid. who is well enough to be in the school, but not well enough to be befriended by the very wealthy people, and that makes him feel some type of way. So that is another thing, and I'm also trying to like find what are his, if he has any problems with his family or not. Maybe he will be one of the few that will have a good family. Who knows? Um, I created a page for my secondary characters. This so a lot of my comes when I started this was the craft and Rebelde. And Rebelde is a Mexican soap opera. And they are at a boarding school where they have roommates and things like that. So I'm slowly uh, coming up with secondary characters that may or may not be inspired by characters, or may just be like they're inspired because that's kind of like the not the character. I just need an additional person there. There might not have the same characteristics. Like I know Luhan was a sport scholarship student, and things like that. It developed in a very different way in this soap opera, that supposed scholarship. But I don't think Evalia is gonna be that. I just had that to know that she's gonna be placed at the same room as Antonia and Lorena, the same way Lujan was to the characters in the Rebelde story. So, uh, we have the Asaroya Private School. These are some images of inspiration. I have created the kind of like the emblem of the school and the mascot, and kind of like some picture ideas. I have this, but it has some, but I'm still, you know, thinking about this things. This might be it. This might not be it. Who knows? Only drafting knows, honestly. So now we get into like the story section. This is where I have just we get to the story section. This is where I have tropes ideas, themes ideas, kind of like my general. I'm like working on the high concept, which is just like um, a line that will summarize the story. So the first thing that I wrote was like Hispanic Dark Academia YA fantasy about teenagers with too much money or not enough, and some who have magic against a secret society that is picking who is and who isn't worthy of being in the Asaroya private school. Um, Sort of. There's some things here that I am gonna take out of this sentence because it's not relevant enough. Yesterday started to kind of like try to get a more concise summary of it. So I have a dark YA contemporary fantasy about teenagers with too much power and time in their hands at a boarding school. It's closer, but it's not quite there. So I have a page with the comp premises, which is the craft and Rebelde. I do have another possible comp that is um closer in years than Rebelde. Yes, both of them are like movies and TV shows. I hopefully will be As soon as, the money allows it, I'll try to buy some like more recent YA stories that fit some of the vibes, but yeah, these are my initial comp. I just to have an idea, I just put the summary in I that I found in the internet for the craft and rebelled it. Just the premises to kind of like keep an idea of what I'm like getting inspired for. I also have a page of spitballing ideas, and this is just like a bunch of like questions and what if, and how about I do this, how about I do that. This is something that I like in the craft, and this is something that I like in Revelda, things like that. I also, if you have seen any of my how I go from ideation to my long outline, there is a section that I talk about brain dump scenes. So these are all the scenes. At this moment, there's just like four, I think, four. But this is where every time I think of a scene in for the story, but I don't know where is it gonna go, I just write it here so I don't lose it. And now eventually we'll get to that short outline, which will be taken out of this book. I did mention this book when I talk about my short outline, because when Jessica Brody was kind of like promoting the release of this book, she did a couple of webinars about it, and it kind of like it was, I think, I'll link it either in the cards or probably on the description box. Like, what are the five most important beats of the beat sheet? I think was it called or something along those lines. And that's when I saw those webinars, I was like, well, that's technically my short outline. And then a long outline for me will be like the entire, say, the GAD beat sheet or things like that. So now that we have, go about the introduction and, everything that I have so far for the Asteroid project, probably, most likely, in the next video, we might be either doing more brainstorming or probably we will be doing more like character work. I usually just leave my characters on like general side, cuz I discover my characters while I write. But for what I know as of right now, for most of my characters, it feels like a lot of the plot is gonna be driven by a lot of their personal grievances, if you might say. So I think this is gonna be the time that I will have to spend quite some time building the characters. So probably the next video is gonna be all about my characters in this story. So yeah, if you like this video, hit the thumbs up. If you are also working on a story, whether it's fantasy, contemporary, um, any other genre, thriller, mystery, action, horror, and you're seeking to do the traditional publish had, let me know down in the comments so we can cheer each other on this long journey. So yeah, I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.